Finally, the carver rested. He grew a mountain crowned with clouds by the river, and leaned against its side to sleep. Ages passed, and the sand settled into his work, and all the land was still.
There was another named Own. This name was to be feared. The name is death, decay, and violence. A cold and fading moment. A mind not of misery in the few leaves of winter. A suit of armor beneath which lay a void. Where Issa's vision was of cultured landscapes, his was of the choking weeds. Own's reach devoured the land. The winter approached.
That day, the carver woke to find his touch run dry, the wellspring of his power dead as dust at the source. He heard then the first whisper, the first mention, mortals.
You're part of that madness on the ledge below. On with you. I'll have no part in that. No, but another hour won't make any difference. Go on, get those gnomes off my ledge. If you must, come back when you're done with whatever it is you've got brewing down there. And here, you see, it all falls beautifully into place. The kobolds will come for their totem. And this new Ragnar will see a challenge that he cannot ignore, and a battle he'll think he can win. Of course, neither he nor any will survive it. To reclaim it, the kobolds will fight to the death. To a Jotun, it's no more than a banner. But a banner planted in their ground is a challenge, and Jotun are proud creatures. Well, there may be a victor for a moment or two, but in the end, I will be the only winner, you will see. Meet me on the height above 2 paths. You wanted war? Well, you've got it. You wanted war? You've got it. My beautiful, beautiful plan. Go on, tear each other apart. My beautiful, beautiful plan. My beautiful, beautiful plan. Now, go. My beautiful, beautiful plan. My beautiful, beautiful plan. Go on, tear each other apart. My beautiful, beautiful plan. My beautiful, beautiful plan. You wanted war? Well, you've got it. My beautiful, beautiful plan.
That was a good fight.
All have lost, but we have won thanks to my genius and your hard work. You have earned your reward. Have this. As for me, I have earned a trip to Odessa and, surely, Centurion rank. If you haven't already, you should visit our grand city. It's a sight to behold. I've single-handedly squashed a Jotun warpath. Of course, that single hand was you, but why quibble? They'll have to grant me Centurion rank now. Soon to be a memory. It's back to Odessa for me and my fine auxiliaries here.
Our work is done here.
Our work is done here.
Our work is done here.
About bloody time. Spider gland for the festering, Fenrak for the pain, and Stugris to keep my strength up. You've done me a good turn, stranger. I live a hermit's life, so have little to give. I hope you'll take this as thanks. You'll get nothing else. What a great and austere beauty it holds. A beauty best enjoyed alone. Once in a while, some fool comes to plead on bended knee for lessons. Bah! If you don't know, there's no use telling it.
The heat's as deadly as the Jotun and the spiders.
The heights of Menethir are thickly coated. Dust, dents, and scars. The heights of Menethir.
Polished armor means you haven't used it yet.
We're fighters here, not toy soldiers.
They rush about as if their destinies did not stretch out before them, clear and immutable. Poor fools. I have come here, for it is here I was to come. How could I do otherwise? I see fate's ends too clearly to resist. It is said my attunement to fate is especially keen. I can see the paths of everyone I cross, stretching before them, but not yours. Some are trained in weaving fate. It is a knack that revealed itself to me at an early age. My parents were delighted at first, then horrified, as I had foreseen.
What have you got for old Fargil the healer today? A nice spider bite? A punctured lung, perhaps? It's wonderful here. They come to me with the most remarkable ailments. How I would love to visit. The diseases they have there. Perhaps one day it will be safe enough to go. Beautiful creatures. They're nature's alchemists. Make poisons, silk, miasmas, you name it. I trained under the luminaries of Odessa, but I have always found fascination in a live specimen of the medical arts. Have you ever been? It's some leagues to the east. A marvelous city. One of, well, mental giants, if you will. You couldn't find a better corner of Amalur to practice the art. More poisonous and dangerous things out there than you could imagine. Though I will admit, Cluricon may have us beat for disease. Come again.
Hello, stranger. Welcome to Ironfast. This may be the hardest post outside of Melsenshire. I can't remember the last time we glimpsed the outside world. Might as well be in prison. I'm new to the Warsworn, but they say I have Lyanna's spirit. She was the first Impester. A champion of sorts, I think. It's a far-off concern to us in Ironfast. The Tuatha must be stopped. The only question is, how much is needed to stop them? I'll fight if it comes to that.
Stranger. We see few enough strangers in Ironfast. Welcome. Stranger.
My poor old master had but one dying wish, that his prize blade, the one on the wall, be mended. Some days I dream that I'll do it myself. Then I remember, I'm a poor untrained apprentice who can barely forge a soup spoon. Been good to me since the day they found me, tucked in among stolen sacks of grain. Master Braskin took me in, being an orphan and found by the Warsworn and all. He let me live here, began to train me in the craft. Master Braskin, yes. I'd endure every drunken lashing anew if it meant I could learn blacksmithing right and proper. Well, don't expect anything remarkable or even decent. Show me what's broken, and I'll see what I can do, which isn't much. Dinwell's his name. Word has it he grew bitter of all mortal kind at the start of the war. But I wouldn't know. I've never talked to him. Why, that's Haldabeer's blade. It's famous, from the Fey Wars. My old master always said he'd fix it right again. Might have, if he'd lived. Now it just hangs on the wall, taunting me, reminding me of all I'm not. In battle, oh, it's a wondrous tale of how Haldabeer slew his foe. I'd tell, but I don't think I could do it justice. Repair the sword? Not likely. There's one man living who can, and he'd rather eat nettles and stare at the sky than raise hammer to anvil. You can find the Hermit Smith yourself, up in the Menethir Heights. But don't expect much. A hero's sword. Like its owner, it fought and died in glory on the battlefield. Just as I'll die miserably behind this forge. Really? You have? Don't think you could talk him into mending that blade on the wall, do you? If he would mend that blade, I'd be delirious. Were he to stay here and finish my training, but I don't dare to dream so much at once.
We're fighters here, not toy soldiers.
I'm Quartermaster here. Tell me what you need and I'll see what I can do. If there's fight in your veins and steel in your bones, you're Warsworn. If you die before you break an oath, you're Warsworn. It's a hard, dangerous place. Jotun above, spiders, thieves, and kobolds down below. They're the newcomers to this land. They crawled up through the ground from who knows what deep caverns. They've always lived in the heights of Menethir, and we have always watched them, weapons at the ready, and held them back when we must. That's me. I'll sell you what you need, and if you need a blacksmith, well, what we've got for one's over there. The old blacksmith died 3 moons ago. Gavroche is... that boy's barely trained. What do you expect? Need a new weapon? That's me. Need it repaired? Blacksmith's open.
Rotting hell, the sun is fierce today. Now who's this? I've grown so used to the same few drifters coming in for supplies and the contract board. A fresh face is a welcome thing. We're proud to stand where we do, here among the wilds. First keep and last bastion, the Castellan likes to say. I'm the curate of this keep. If you've a contract to turn in, bring it to me. Other keeps get their work here and there, high and low. As for us, ever since Odessa was built, we've had one solemn task. Watch the Jotun. Hold them back, hold them south and west of Gnomish lands. I'll be honest, he's not much of a blacksmith, but he's all we've got at the moment. Poor little lad. The quartermaster to our keep, she stocks all we need to get by out here. That's Oda. She's a good sort, though not a woman of words. Anything you need's found in the smithy. You've got Heki for most things and Gavroche for blacksmithing. It's right beside me. The work's open to any and all. When a contract's done, they come to me for their pay. Anything you need's found in the smithy. You've got Heki for most things. When there are open jobs, and there's good proof they've been done, then yes, I do. So long.
We see few enough strangers in Ironfast. Welcome.
Too much sand in the air and old things lying about to ever get this place clean. Oh, you want that contract, do you? Now you guard these ghastly things closely. Mind you, they're not suited for combat. They're for surgery and unnaturally sharp. Dead? Why, that's a shame. I'd say I'm sure he'll be missed. But he's from Whitestone, so you never know. And that's his walking staff there. I'll take that. Job well done. Oh yes, well you'll need to collect the required number of spider stingers from spiders in Menethir. You won't have much trouble finding them, they're all over, which frankly is exactly the problem. So long.
The heat's as deadly as the truth. Rotting hell, the sun is fierce today.
No lessons, no precious pearls of wisdom. I've left that all behind. You have my thanks. Now go. Oh, what for? Can't imagine what old Braskin can't handle on his own. I still know him. I came to Menethir because of him, the only man in all Armalor I respect. Of course it is. But you mean, then old Braskin's in Ashara, is he? The sword is untouched, and that green apprentice, untrained? Damn it all! I swore I'd never... But the blade and the apprentice and the blade! It won't do. I must go. Bring me a compound known as Master's Tallow from Hervar's Dorsil, and the sword is yours. I'll be at Ironfast waiting. A rare wax of golden hue, with some remarkable properties regarding metal and flame. It will be needed to mend that sword. He would visit me some nights, and we'd talk of stars and old ways and the blacksmith's craft. He alone never once asked me why I live apart.
Polished armor means you haven't used it yet.
Can I help you?
Ah, there you are. You have the Master's Tallow? Then let's begin. Lords of Iron and Fire, it's good to be back at the Forge. Brace yourselves now.
Nothing worse than sand inside your armor.
Behold, Haldabir's blade, strong and whole. As you made this possible, I insist that you take it. A hero deserves a hero's sword. Now, if you're done gawking, I have a clumsy oaf of an apprentice to train. The boy's green as a new blade of grass, but he's got an eye and an arm. He'll learn yet. My work here won't keep me from it. I shall never tire of its open sky or those great red rocks. I swore I'd never take another student, but for you and Gavroche here, I'd make an exception.
Master craftsmanship for sale here. Just imagine. Me, apprenticed to the hermit smith. I swear there's nothing he doesn't know. Things he does with a flick of the wrist turn me into a bellowing troll.
Need a new weapon? That's me. Need it repaired? Blacksmith's over there. Yes, that's me. Stock up now before you head into the wilds. See our blessed apprentice over there if you've gear in need of mending. Don't wander the wastes. Unprepared.
Nothing worse than sand inside.
The Warsworn are more than just warriors, you know. They have a history full of heroes and great deeds. But I'm sure you've heard the old tales of the First Sworn. Everyone has. If this place looks like a bit of a scholar's archive, it's because it is. Ironfast has changed little since KoA herself had it built. Up in Helmguard Keep, they'll tell you we're just fighters in fine armor. But it's not true. We bear the legacy of the First Sworn. We still swear our oaths in their names. KoA was Aegon's daughter, and the only person who surpassed him in armed combat. She died by treachery. So we swear upon her blood, which should never have been spilt. Our founders were no mercenaries. They were great heroes who slayed Niskaru and battled evil mages. Aemon, Aegon, KoA, all the First Sworn champions right until the Second Oath. Aemon taught his son Aegon the secrets of fighting Niskaru and of crafting Warsworn arms and armor. There was some kind of magic in it, though magic was unknown to humans then. I have a sister in the Scholia Arcana. You could say that her love of old and wondrous things took a different turn than mine. KoA had been dead nearly 70 years, and the last Niskaru had gone from the Western Feylands. It was a time of crisis for the Order. Find a purpose, or fade away. Then Balegar stood forth and pledged us to honorable work. He made us what we are today, mercenaries. Some call him the last hero. Others, the first sellsword. Say what you like. He saved our order from the brink of irrelevance. Balegar had a clear vision of our future. Honorable work fighting for hire. As for our past, it went to the chronicler Dorian, so it would not be forgotten. First Runaire, or chronicler of the Warsworn, he wrote histories and tales of the First Sworn. Though it is said he left some things untold. Secrets kept for the Warsworn only.
What, stranger?
Good day, fellow wanderer. Would a sagecrafter's services be of interest? Warsworn let me stop here in my wanderings in exchange for my service. Good folk, if a bit rough-hewn, and no place feels safer. A great city, if ever there was one. A monument to science and industry. A diserased Basilica Nostra trained and worldly wise, fully versed in the ways of gems and sockets. It seems things have turned out well for the boy after all. Good on him. So much art and science to the fitting of a gem. Harmonies, geometries, fine acts of dexterity. I've got my certificate here with my things. I might have stayed and taught, but my spirit's more the wandering sort. May you find your socket.
Hell, the sun is fierce. The hermit blacksmith is here. What, stranger? Stranger? The heat's as deadly as the Jotun.
Me, I'm rarely outside. Always things to be done about the keep. With the Jotun and the kobolds, we just haven't had time to burn them out. Fine work you've done. I'll admit, it's good to have a master blacksmith on premises. He's a bit haughty, though, if you ask me. Just stood there, smile on his face, while Effia raged on about his shoddy work. I guess he's glad to have a master again. Anything you need's found in the smithy. You've got Heki for most things, and Gavroche for mending, and now Effia as armourer. All right now.
We see few. Dusk, then... That's the answer.
Stranger? Rattlesnake was a vain and ugly creature. He crawled in dark places and avoided the other desert animals. He was lonely but refused to act like it. One day, while sitting under a rock and wishing to be happy, he saw a desert runner sprinting past. "Wait," it called to the bird. "I have a favor to ask of you."
Well, 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 never seen your face before. Can't say I like it. Listen up, Dogface. There are 2 rules in Bone Town. Number 1, Mayor Eswin's law is absolute. Number 2, if you don't like rule number 1, then you'd better get your ass out of town. Now go meet the mayor yourself. He likes to know what the kobolds kick in from the wastes, especially with the families running wild. Listen to that. You're fitting in pretty well already. I'll see you around Whitestone, Dogface. He's a dangerous man, and he'll stop at nothing to bring ruin to Whitestone. Luckily, the mayor knows how to deal with crooks like Scoria. Miners. And they used to make a good living, too, back when Modus Mining had its teeth in Apatia. But when Modus pulled out, the money dried up. Now most of them are criminals. A nasty lot. The Zungars are the worst. But the Darkvari and the Sinrig know Leonis dance as well. He's not from around here. A city boy born and raised in Myria. Came to seek fortune, but landed in Apatia right when Modus Mining cut their losses. You'd think he'd wither in this desert, but it was his idea to bring in the mercenaries. With Mayor Eswin in Whitestone, we have a fighting chance. People call it Bone Town because of the pale rocks jutting up from the sand. And because of the death rate. So, you want to learn about the honor, do you? Well, I won't be telling you. That's for Warsworn to know. There's plenty of them. Just ask KoA, or walk a few paces out of Whitestone in any direction. Sometimes they even come into town. A few weeks ago, I caught a bandit trying to slip into the mayor's window. Fool. He's been locked up in a cage ever since. As an example.
Yeah? Blasted desert air. I miss the coast. Stranger.
You there. You look like you could use some coin. That didn't sound quite right. Let me try again. Are you interested in some work? If so, the mayor of Whitestone is hiring. The work is bloody, but what work isn't nowadays? Go check the bone wall. There's something there for everyone. Not a weakling in the bunch. Every one of them with a thirst for combat. They'd kill you for a single coin. In a way, it's almost impressive. The Zungars are the worst, but the Darkvari and Sinriks aren't much better. Don't worry about the Scorias. They're everywhere, but harmless, like roaches. The Sinriks are handsome boys, despite their ways. They always give me a smile from afar, too scared to get close. You'll have to talk to Mayor Eswin about the Scorias. He asked us to focus on the other families first. The Zungars killed the first group of mercenaries that Eswin hired. Raided Whitestone the very next day. We've held them off for a while now, but they're tough, even for Warsworn. The Darkbari are a miserable lot, but don't let the rags and rusty daggers fool you. What they lack in skill, they make up for in brute force. I don't know much about it. Mayor Eswin brought me and Bjorn down first, out of Ironfast Keep. The pay is weak, but so is the enemy. If I were you, I'd stay in town, avoid the wastes. The desert is crawling with kobolds, and just about every human you find out there is going to want a piece of you. Ah, so you've been talking to Bjorn, have you? I'm not that interested in the war-sworn stories. I much prefer the pay. The Bone Wall is where we post bounties and contracts. I'm sure you can guess how it got its name. So long. Hello.
Oh, look what the dust brought in.
Hello. Don't kill me, please! Just a little Whitestone humor for you. Maybe it's not for everybody. My name's Varric Dunbert, and my trade's selling. We get a quirky collection of goods in town these days. You're welcome to it. You're right, I see pretty much everything and everyone that comes in and out of Whitestone. And we do get our share of eccentric visitors. Just the other day I noticed a real sorrowful-looking Alfar lurking around the tavern. Oh, don't you break into a sweat over the Sinriks and the Zungars. Good people. At least they were back in the days of the cart and shovel. Now they make their living with the sword. Can't say I blame them. Not after what the gnomes did to us. Honestly? Well, I'm not sure what to make of that one. He's certainly got clean hands for someone in Apatia. Rumor has it he's city-bred. Have you seen his cottage? It is more rooms than a flophouse. Some say they're not criminals, despite the mayor's proclamations. I'll refrain from judging. I don't mind them. In fact, think Mitharu, that sun camp, is just down the road. Without their merchants, the people of Whitestone would starve to death. We don't get many supplies from the city, and there's no work to be done in trade. Honest thieves, one man's opinion. Come again.
Good day. You're probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, if you're fond of a good story, lend me your ear. I won't disappoint. I'll try to keep it short, even though I've got all the time in the world for embellishment. Sinriks, Darkvari, Zungars, and Scorias, all bastards. Not half as bad as these guards. They can't catch all of us, and we can't kill all of them. I am no one of consequence, something the guards in Whitestone fail to realize. However, if you ask my father, he'd take my side. I'm a complete disappointment. They're not as bad as some think, but worse than you'd imagine. I have the scars to prove it, unfortunately. Look, I'm in a cage in the middle of this town. What do you want me to say? I'm not really in a good position to talk about it right now. What did I do? Nothing. I just happened to bear the name Darkvari, a crimen up a tier in these trying times. The mayor's blade seized me at the gates of Odessa. Here's the trick of it. I was leaving home, slipping free of my familial bondage. I'm no thug. I am guilty of but one crime only. Stealing a girl's heart. Her name is Hrindi Zungar, and at this very moment she waits for me with no word of my whereabouts. Please, stranger, will you help me? She is the sun that comes to warm me every morning. We met a short time ago, mere weeks, but true love has no memory of time. Yes, Zungars and Darkvari aren't exactly kin. In fact, they're sworn enemies and rivals. Imagine how powerful they'd be if they shared blood instead of spilled it. I knew I liked you. From the moment I laid eyes on you through these enormous iron bars. Getting the key won't be easy. Bjorn, the head of their mercenaries, carries it on his person. I wouldn't want to be the one who has to rifle through his pockets. I've promised to rescue Hrindi from her family's life of corruption. She deserves more than a shack along the snake tail. She deserves Sky Blossom, whispers. I've been in this cage for weeks, but Hrindi will wait. We swore an oath to each other. I care not for stale poison. I doubt the Zungars and Darkvari even know why they're angry. It's an old hatred, old as the Red Stone. Hrindi and I want none of it. Bjorn's men are ridiculously loyal. Try to catch him alone, out of the friendly eye. If you don't, our little agreement will end up rather short-lived.
Keep your eyes open.
Welcome to the Thirsty Wench. I'm Bera Grastar, owner, innkeep, and namesake. We don't get many strangers in Whitestone, at least not since Motors pulled out and the mercenaries dug in. What can I get you? Not everyone in Apatir worked for one of the big mining families, but most of them did. And when the work dried up, they stayed with their crews. Only now they're robbing travelers and kidnapping merchants instead of digging. Only thing we dig in Whitestone these days are graves. He's fine as far as nobles go, although he doesn't exactly fit in around here. He lacks that important layer of filth that comes from growing up in Apatir. Yeah, they come into town every so often, looking to socialize, I guess. Best keep your eyes on your belongings. There's a whole camp of them east of here near the cliffs. I think they call it Sun Camp. That was a joke. Same old faces, same old troubles. Whitestone hasn't changed much since the gnomes left us to the wastes. The mercenaries are new and good for business. We do have a few visitors, Alpha and a traveller to boot. I'd better watch out or the thirsty wench is going to get all respectable. Barely worth my breath, those bastards. Tell me, is it right to build a town and then suddenly leave it to rats? I don't think so either. The gnomes of Motus Mining have the people's hopes to answer for. They know better than to ever show their faces in Apatir again. You mean Steg? He's a good kid. Dumb as a plank, but sweet as they come. I really hope he gets out soon so he and Hrindi can be together. Sure, we've got a few available, but they'll cost you. Nothing comes cheap in Whitestone. It's your choice. Not many places to sleep in Whitestone where the rats won't get at you. Don't tell anyone, but I've run out of meat to serve the customers. If these louts find out, they're liable to start a riot. Do you have any meat with you? I'll pay you good money for it. Okay, I guess that's better than nothing. I don't care where you get it, as long as it smells like meat when I place it over the fire. Hurry up with some meat, or it'll be my bones they'll be eating.
Weapons away. Move along. If you have any information about the Scoria family, report it to the mayor.
Are they giving you a hard time around here, too? Whitestone, a boot full of vipers, this place. Can't stand it. And after everything we've done for them down in Sun Camp, you'd think they'd be more appreciative. And starvation's too good for the mayor, I say. He's as corrupt as they come, but I shouldn't be one to speak, not with my associations. Still, it's one thing to say you're a crook, and another to pretend you're not. Some of us join because we have to. Others expect it to be an adventure. We're a patchwork, really, a glorious patchwork of imperfection. It's a good town, or it was before the Motus disaster and the mercenaries. I have fond memories of Whitestone. I used to buy candy at Varric's place. Simpler times. It wasn't my life plan to become a traveler, believe me. But sometimes necessity is the only star you follow. My parents were miners and worked themselves to the bone to provide. When the Terrenium dried up, so did they, you could say. I didn't want to leave Apatir, so I stayed. You don't look like one of Eswin's ruffians. No, you look different, which is a good thing in this sun-blasted nothing. All right, I'll tell you. Our friend the mayor has something stashed up in his house, something worth a fortune. Can you believe that? There's something of actual value in Whitestone. I've been sent to get it, but I can't seem to find a way in. Until inspiration strikes, I'm waiting here, keeping the ale busy. We're travelers by affiliation, but we specialize in fair exchange of goods and services. Not to say we won't steal, it's just not our stock and trade. You'll find us east of here, past the old Motus Mining Headquarters building, just shy of the seaside cliffs. You should stop by, it's quite a view. Silly question. Who doesn't hate the mayor? We travellers had a good thing going here in Whitestone. The people came to us for their needs. We had a relationship. Now Mayor Eswin says trading with travellers is illegal, and as a result the folks of Apatir won't touch us. I'm surprised they even let me into town without a fight. You're welcome to give it a go, but I can't promise you'll get anywhere. That old mansion was built by the gnomes back when they first settled the village. It's got more hidden corners than a spider web. I doubt old Eswin's even seen all of it. I doubt the old mayor has either. Maybe I'll show some initiative eventually. Until then, you're welcome to make us both look good. The doors are locked, so I'm guessing there are keys required. That's usually how the arrangement works. Bye.
What is it? Can't you see I'm celebrating? That's right. Raise a glass, friend. Let's make a toast to cowards. What's there to say? The Tuatha just keep growing bolder, and our numbers fewer. Not like the people of Apatir care. They've got their own problems. This village is as good as any. I've seen many such places, all of them ravaged by the war, all of them feeling the distant decay of the Tuatha. There is no escape. I walk the wall of Melsenshir. Do you know what that's like? The silence breathes, the shadows move. Every night is a lifetime. No drink can drown those memories. I've made a choice, you see. After much deliberation and many pines, I've decided to disobey my direct superiors and not perform my duties. To the fires with orders. I am finished delivering death notices. I've seen the faces of the war dead. I've no desire to look into the eyes of their loved ones. I volunteered to be a messenger, to bring death notices from the War Council to the families of the deceased. I thought it would be welcome respite from the war, but it's been its own kind of hell. I got through some of them, but by the time I reached Apatir, I was done. You would do that? It would keep me from getting discharged. For I'm not going back. Here are the death notices. Take this medicine as well. I have my own right here. Ironic, isn't it? I can face the enemy, but I can't face the families of those who fought beside me. Pathetic. Your energy will not be spent in vain. I will pay you well to do this for me, but the road will be long and fraught with grief. Tell them what you want. Won't change what has happened. Their sons and daughters are gone. No one can soften that blow. Goodbye.
Those gnomes sure know how to wreck a place.
Hello.
Hey! Oh, look what the dust brought in.
Stand right there. Let me take a look at you. Filthy, weary, lonely, but special, that's for certain. We don't see folks like you in Whitestone very often. I'm Mayor Eswin Elfhelm, and I'm the closest thing to a friend you've got around here. An obstacle in the way of progress. The old man still believes that Apotia can come back from its decline by force of will. Typical of a miner. Keeps digging away. There are 4 mining families. The Darkvari, the Sinriks, Zungars, and the Scorias. When the gnomes departed, so did the jobs. There was nothing for the miners left behind. Starvation, desperation, well, they change people. Most of the miners in Apotia kept their sanity, even when they lost everything else. But the others, they turned to banditry. The usual, theft, kidnapping, murder. You'd best stick close to Whitestone. You're an easy target. My given name is Eswin Elfhelm, but people around here call me Mayor Eswin. They're simple people. That's why I like them. I grew up in the old main city of Myria, west of here. I'd never worked a full day in my life. I'm certainly making up for it now. I sleep 1-2 hours a night. The Sinrig boys think this is a game. They're laughing now, but we'll see how they like the taste of their own ruthlessness. They're the second oldest family in Apotia, and they're headed for a prison, or the graveyard. Liars, thieves, and scum. Let's hope they never take control of Apotia. It would take quite a bit to convince me the Zongars weren't criminals from the start. It's probably no surprise the worst miners of Apotia make the best brigands.
The Darkvari were hit hardest by Modus's relocation. The young men and women watched the elders and children waste away. Now they're all that's left. Sad story, isn't it? Doesn't excuse their lawlessness. Once the Terrenium ran out, they moved on. Gnomes don't care for the welfare of other races. They're hoping we'll kill each other off, save them the trouble. This little town was the heart of the boom, the engine that drove the rise of Odessa. But in business, every boom is followed by the eventual bust. The gnomes moved out. With the gnomes went the gold, and with the gold went the jobs. Whitestone has been a shell of itself since. But I seek to change all that. My home, a lifetime ago it seems. The port was nice. The smell of fish near the harbor was offensive. You'd have a hard time finding anything that resembles Myria here in Detir. Terrenium. It's the only reason the gnomes ever graced Detir with their presence. Normally they'd find the climate too dry. They like their beards curly. Modus Mining settled Whitestone, built all the mines and relocated the families. Once they'd taken what they came for, they vanished almost overnight. Disgraceful. Some call it war. I call it survival. The Modus mining interest left an empty throne when it abandoned Apotir, and now everyone wants that power. The people here, the decent, honest, hard-working people of Apotir, have been through enough. Starvation, humiliation. They needed a leader, one who cares. My goals are simple. To stop the warring in Whitestone, and to rescue it from the brink of extinction. And you can help me. What do you say? Partners? I like you. You're not a fool. Want to know what you're getting into? Well, I think big, but I'm smart enough to start small. I need a person who can do both. I want you to acquire something for me. Something that rightfully belongs to me. There's a man named Adeth Scoria, patriarch of the most prominent mining family in Apotir. Months ago, I bought his family mine. It wasn't cheap. Now Adeth refuses to surrender the property. In fact, he's gone into hiding and won't meet with me. I need you to acquire what is legally mine. The deed to his claim. Modus Mining stored all the records in its old headquarters east of the village. But the building has long since been overrun. Get that deed, and we're in business. Probably in that relic of a building that was once Motus headquarters. Now a haven for thugs and criminals. Near the cemetery to the east.
Yes, what is it? We're not supposed to speak with the citizens. What's there to say? It's an unfortunate affair. I don't foresee anyone coming out the better for it. I only hope that many return from the front lines unharmed. Same as any place else, in my opinion. I just stick to the job. Guard, train, and rough up anyone who gets in the way of the mayor's plans. Nothing to tell, really. My wife and I lived in Rathir, until we had to take work elsewhere. She in the army and me with this rough outfit. I hate being apart. Joanne? You mean my wife has died? I knew she sailed for Cluricon, but we got so little news here in Apatir. I told her the war wouldn't last. I insisted. And as usual, I was wrong. My wife was beautiful. She deserved better. I only wish I could have given it to her. I only wish I could have been there for her in the end. Thank you for telling me. Joanne never wanted children. She said it was too harsh a world for young ones. Said we should use our lives to make a difference. I have to believe she was right. The army rejected me on account of my missing toes. So I came here to make extra coin while Joanne was away. To wait for her. Now it seems I'll wait forever.
Stay out of trouble.
Well done. Now, you've done me this one favor. Let's finish what we've started. Before I can leave this cursed desert, I need several things. First, I need to fetch the item that will finance our new life in Odessa, our nest egg. It is an heirloom that has been in the Darkvari family for generations. Then I need you to find Hrindi and bring her to me at our old meeting place in Snaketail Canyon. Please, you must do this for me. For us. Thank you.
Desert Runner stopped. She had never heard Rattlesnake speak before. His voice was a slow, nasty hiss, and that greatly disturbed Desert Runner. Please, Desert Runner, my voice is harsh, and yours is so pretty. You are so fast and so much braver than me. Can you bring me a voice like yours? Desert Runner thought for a moment and then said, I will lend you some of my voice and put it in your tail. That is why the rattlesnake clicks.
You're not supposed to be sniffing around over here. Go on, get! The gnomes carved the place to pieces, and then picked up and left before the dust hit the ground. They took everything, left nothing. We've got your usual drunks, thieves and killers. Most of them are from Whitestone, but a few hail from the outlying mines. Too bad you're not permitted inside. You might pick up a useful skill or two. Anything to survive in Apatir. I've seen many villages beyond hope, but none so far gone as Whitestone. It would be better left to the dust. Working down here in Apatir is the best job I've ever had. All I've got to do is stand in this spot dawn to dusk and make sure the riffraff don't enter. A boggart could do it. Let me work.
Hi there. I've been following your progress. From a safe distance, of course. Can I have the document now? What will I give you? You're thinking like a traveler after all. Very good. Isn't that the way of Whitestone? Everyone has to get paid. So what do you want? It's not your concern. Acquiring it was the important thing. Now that it's safe, it needs to be given to the proper parties so it can be destroyed. So, you read the document, did you? Bad idea. I was supposed to get it out of here without anyone ever seeing it. Job well done, Lena. The Travelers weren't responsible for what happened in the Snake Tail. It was the gnomes. We helped prevent a panic. Imagine what would have happened if the people of Whitestone had found out the truth. Apatir would be in even worse shape than it is now. Fine. That's something I can do. Gold is plentiful if you know where to steal it. Now hand over the paper. See you. Now that I've got what I came for, I'm leaving Apatir. Too many memories. Almost all of them bad. Goodbye. Hey there.
Enjoy the shade, Wanderer.
Need anything?
The blessing of the Hierophant be with you. There's a whole world of hidden secrets you can learn with my training, if you're willing to pay. It was a mining area once. Now there's not much that's left to dig out of the soil, from what I hear. Still, there's enough of other things to scavenge in the mines and quarries if you keep your eyes peeled. People in towns and cities think we travelers are shunned. In truth, we're freer than they'll ever know. They say the desert's a barren place, but Suncamp brings a bit of light and color to these rocks by the Hierophant's grace. It isn't hard to learn how to find what's hidden. You've just got to look for the usual patterns, the same clues, and you sort it all out. Stay alert.
Need anything?
So hot out there.
Welcome to the sun.
The Hierophant sees all that occurs in Sun Camp. Conduct yourself accordingly. We are not the rabble that many take us for, nor the beggars we are soon to be. I hold such judgments in contempt. We have our own life in this desert. The travelers of my camp are profitable, orderly, and obedient, all without walls and gates. Go to Whitestone and see for yourself. Are those people any happier? Pfft, they're miserable. Sun Camp is under my authority by the blessed ordination of the Hierophant. We mainly subsist on trade from the city of Edessa. I am Ajin, the leader of the Sun Camp. Under my leadership, I have created one of the largest and most profitable camps in the Travelers. The title Queen of Staves is reserved for the oldest and wisest of the camp leaders. The Hierophant awarded it to me for my service. Farewell.
Looks like you're used to dust on your feet. Willing to help an old tinker collecting some iron? A good many people love the Travelers as thieves, but we first started with people like me, tinkers, journeymen, and wanderers. I've been tinkering in this camp almost as long as it's been around. It isn't much like Star or Moon. Ajin runs this camp fine, but after all these years, I don't even know her all that well. I've been in Sun Camp since it started, and Ajin's been right here with me. She saw Edessa carved into the side of that crater. She keeps faithful to the Hierophant, and it seems in turn that we stay prosperous. Not a bad arrangement. Make my trade as a tinker, fixing pots and spades and shovels for common folk. But with the war on, iron's been scarce. I'm too old to go around scrounging for bits and scraps. If you find any iron components on your travels, I'll pay well for them. Well, that's good. Iron isn't exactly like gold. It should be pretty commonplace if you look. Or even some time at Briente's forge might help. But I'm a tinker, mind you, not a smith. I can't work with finished pieces. I need iron components. Music to my ears. Hand it over and I'll pay you well for it. Well, around, I suspect. I haven't been out on the road in some time, but as I recall, it's not too hard to find.
Farewell.
Hello there. Happy to see another face in Sun Camp. Want to do some trading? The city's the jewel of Detir, so the gnomes say. A lot of bustle and trade going on there, if you've the stomach for it. Folks from all walks come to join the travellers. Beggars, highwaymen, thieves, all looking to live a life without laws or lords. As far as the traveller camps go, Sun's the largest. They say that Arjun founded it over 60 years ago. The woman runs this camp like a damn army. Everything has its order, and we march to the tune of the Hierophant, bless her. Keeps the coin coming in, at any rate. Arjun thanks the Hierophant for that. And we all do, for that matter. So long.
Time to toss a few dice, mate. Don't suppose you care to wager some coin? Not your average folk, that's for sure. But when a man likes to be himself and not someone's servant, well, who else do you turn to? It's a bit of a tight ship here. And Arjun, well, she don't like much. But I don't think she takes kindly to the dicing I do. Of course, so long as I bring gold in, there ain't no complaints made to old Cutter. Sun Camp owes its prosperity to the Hierophant and to Arjun. As long as the coin comes in, they own us. Surely this ain't your first time dicing? Well, here's a little catch-up. I play 2 games on 2 dice. The first, high roll, sees who rolls higher, obviously. The second is range roll. You choose a range of numbers to roll within. Now, Have an interest? Yeah? You don't want to see these dice. They're rubbish. Don't even land correctly. These dice do much better. Fairer, too. 2 games we play. In range roll, you specify the ranger numbers you'll roll. Right. What's the game, then? Don't you sound confident. Bye. Well, fancy that. A win for dear old Cutter. Well, let me take what's mine. What say you? Come back if you want to play.
Roland's the man you need to see. You need to buy or fence items.
Always time to toss a few dice, mate. Right. What's the game, then? Don't you sound confident. Bye. Well, fancy that. A win for dear old Cutter. Right. What's the game, then? Don't you sound confident. Come back if you want to play. Well, didn't think the dice would show those faces. Well then, here's your money. Come back if you want to play. Got a bit of dice lying around if you're fancying a game, and you've got the coin. Right. What's the game, then? Aye, that's fine. Now, what numbers do you think you'll roll within? Very well. Let's see what the dice show. Bye. Well, didn't think the dice would show those faces. Well then, here's your money. Come back if you want to play.
Enjoy the shade, Wanderer.
Any items in need of repair? Got the fire stoked and ready to patch your equipment. Good as new. It isn't a hard life, really. I had it hard once, working a brothel in Apatir. But Arjin let me swing a hammer for my coin now. Isn't a place I'd go back to. Had enough of whoring myself and scavenging for coin. It's a rough and tumble place. Used to be proper artisans that crafted items for sale in Sun Camp. People still talk of gems and ornaments that they bought here ages ago. The woman's a loyal servant to the Hierophant, and for that we've seen profit. She and our seer look out for us all. My forge is always open.
Hi.